Ah, Lexus.
After years of intense work, Lexus is ready to celebrate. Because even at the equivalent of 145 miles per hour, the Lexus LS 400 is designed to stir the soul and not much else.
I cannot wait to see what the latest big fancy Lexus is. Imagine how much fancier Lexuses have got since then. So I've got my wine glasses at the ready for some road testing. Let's proceed. Wait, what? That's just a little Toyota in it? Nope, that there is an L. Yeah, an L is right. Smooth. Let's explain what's going on here. So, first question. Why does it have to be like this? With a little L? Well, it's the same reason that Porsche makes SUVs and the Steps has gone back on tour.
How did this happen?
Basic economics. So I'll give you some numbers. In Europe, in 2024, almost 7 million SUVs were sold, more than half of the total car market. And nearly 3 million of those were compact SUVs, tiny ones, like the LBX here. And that 3 million is like a million more compact SUVs than were sold in 2023. I'm rounding the numbers a bit, but you get the idea. It's going that way quickly. So here we are, and to Lexus's credit, they have entered the market with one of the best ones. So this is the latest car from the manufacturer that brought you
the Lexus LS 4.5.
It's called the LBX, it's the littlest L you can buy, and that's because it's a compact crossover. Yay! Compact crossovers. That means it's basically the size of a Vauxhall Corsa, but it's a bit taller, and it's shaped to look like, that's right, an SUV. The upshot is it feels big from this end of the car, but is not big at this end of the car. As you can see, because I'm having a reach struggle here in the back because the front seat is set to my 6'4" lanky arse driving position. Having said that, you might not be as tall as me, which will make rear knee room slightly less awful, and headroom in the back is decent, and the LBX's crossovery fatness means it has a relatively massive rear hole. It's more than 30% bigger than, I don't know, a Vauxhall Corsa's boot, for example. Albeit, if you get your LBX with four-wheel drive, your boot volume reduces substantially. Well, we appear to have meandered into the consumer information section here. Feels a bit too soon, to be honest, a bit too sensible. But hey, we're here now, so what would CarWow do?
What will happen in a drag race between a bunch of V12 Aston Martin?
Well, yeah, but that doesn't help, does it?
Bitch, I'm the baddest, yeah, get into it, yeah. Hoes be the maddest, yeah, get into it, yeah. Bitch, I'm the baddest, yeah, get into it, yeah. I'm the whole package, yeah, get into it. I got the wrist, freaking it, baby. Wrist, freaking it, baby, and I'm getting rich. Commas on commas, I've been with the shits. Look at me, baby, I don't need no assist. Everything hit, I'm a walking lit. Who do you know that get bored just like this? Top master bottom, no BBO here. Been on my shit and my skin getting clear. I'm up and I'm out of here. Get into it. Bitch, I'm the baddest. Yeah, get into it. Yeah. These hoes be the maddest. Yeah, get into it. Yeah. Bitch, I'm the baddest. Yeah, get into it. Yeah.
So, now that you know everything there is to know about this car, short of what chassis it uses. Yeah, so, as I was going to say, we're going to probably finish early today because all that's left to do now is... It is every bit the small Lexus, which is to say, it is very, very lovely to drive. It's polished. Polished like brick-top shoes.
I just had them polished.
Polished. So, what does that actually mean? Well, the shorthand is that from here, it feels like a bigger car. It's the details that make the difference. So, all the places that you touch, all the contact points are just brilliant. This steering wheel is really soft and smooth, and this elbow pad's soft, and this one is too, and just everything just feels like high quality. The driving position, super duper. Don't know why I said that, but it is. Loads of adjustment, again, feels like a big car, there's lots of space around you, you don't feel hemmed in. The seats are soft and they're shaped really well, so they've got that nice balance of being supportive, but also just basically comfortable. The hallmark of a small, crappy car is that you'll feel like you're sat on top of the thing, whereas in this, you don't. The seat's actually set quite low, you feel like you're in it, even though it's an SUV type car, so you've got decent visibility and stuff. All those normal SUV traits that are the reasons why people buy cars like this. And it's got a tight turning circle, which I like, and you will too. And the general refinement is, well, it's a Lexus, which is especially remarkable because this is a 3-cylinder petrol engine, as in the sort of petrol engine that you get in, for example. Yeah, this is basically the hybrid system that you'll find in the Yaris Cross, sitting in the chassis of the Yaris Cross, but then all tarted up a bit. The Yaris Cross being a thing that costs from, got the prices here, 27.5 grand. Yeah, so it's actually 26.5 grand. Don't know what happened there. Don't blame me, it's the ADHD. Anyways, the point I'm about to make still stands, just mathematically slightly less so. Yeah, that changes things, right? Because if my maths is correct, then that means that the Lexus here starts at just
3.5 grand
more than a Yaris Cross does.
I think I got away with it all right.
The Yaris Cross is great, but this car is both objectively and subjectively better. Objectively because it's more powerful, and in here they've used better stuff, nicer materials, and subjectively because, well,
I love Lexi. It's like the Japanese Mercedes.
The balance of this is the best thing about it. So what I mean by that is that you might argue that the ride quality is a little bit on the firm side, but actually this is a car that generally is just really settled, really compliant. It's just that it's not quite as wafty as the average Lexus. But what that means is that it's not really roly-poly. It feels like a lower car than it actually is. It feels like a hatchback rather than an SUV. In a good way. Just to explain that a little bit further, a lot of these SUV type cars, especially the Chinese ones, if I'm honest, they get their comfort from just being really soft, which means that they end up just being dead, like, wavy, roly-poly. It's kind of a quick shortcut to a specific result, kind of like a ready meal with a load of salt or sugar dumped into it. This, though, feels like it has a more sophisticated palette, more nuanced, and generally the refinement is just proper mint. At any speed, but especially at town speed, it is just mint at keeping all the noise out. A little bit of road noise, a little bit of wind noise, but it's super refined for a car that's this small and this tall. I think this is probably the most calm and refined small SUV you can buy. I haven't driven them all, but that's what Lexus was aiming for, and the results are highly evident. Until, yes, until you press this thing hard, which I'm gonna do now. So you get this big gap, and then it just settles into this seemingly endless drone. It's awful. It's the same with all of these e-CVT hybrid things that Toyota does. Some of them are slightly better than others, but generally speaking, nah, not for me. It's just so at odds with the rest of the car. If this car was electric, it would be amazing. The silence would be deafening. Well, not really, but it would feel really, really quiet. You do get kind of a glimpse of what it would be like if this was an electric car because of the way they've set the drivetrain up. Quite clever, actually. Despite having a tiny battery and not being a plug-in hybrid, the amount that this car uses its battery alone to drive is surprising. It's doing it all the time, it seems. Like it's doing it now. So I'm sat at 30 and it's in EV mode, engine's off. And then that was the transition there. You probably didn't hear anything. All of a sudden, you only hear the engine when it's at high revs. When it's at low revs, there you go, it's dropped back down into EV mode there at 40. It's just constantly trying to get onto using the battery. It's brilliant, and that's why it's so economical. As an aside, like all these things, there's this little EV button here that you can press to put your car into EV mode. But in reality, it might as well have a picture of a Sex Panther on it, because when you press it,
60% of the time, it works every time.
That doesn't make sense.
Thankfully, there are buttons on the dashboard that 100% of the time work every time. Yeah, this is one intuitive cabin. Got this big knob for the volume and these two little nubs for the temperature.
The toitest of naps.
Indeed.
And the screen makes sense, and the steering wheel buttons also make sense. It's all just dead easy to fathom, which is another thing that makes this whole car feel nice and calm. It's even relatively fun to drive, this thing. Relatively. Yeah, so this is a bit wider than the Yaris. It's got a wider track distance between the wheels, and you sit a bit lower, so it does feel a bit more planted than that, and actually a bit more sharp and dynamic than the majority of small crossover SUVs, which I know isn't saying much, but still, it is pretty good fun to steer this thing, if that matters to you in a car like this. You can even have a version with added traction. True story, there's a little electric motor on the rear axle that doesn't give the car any more power, but it just gives the car a bit more grip. That's where it gets its four-wheel drive from. I say grip, I mean traction.
Hi, I'm an engineer.
Either way though, dynamically, this feels surprisingly well put together. It's more like a bonus than a fundamental character of the car. It's not like a reason that you would buy this car. The steering's quite quick and you get quite a lot of feel through the tyres-ish. It doesn't pitch on the brakes very much. And it certainly doesn't pitch when you accelerate very much either. The problem's a hybrid system. It chokes what might be a relatively fun car if it had a better engine or was electric. Yeah, shocker, right? Compact crossover SUV isn't a sports car. What it is a nice feeling, nice looking A to B personal transport thing, which in a weird way is part of the problem. Maybe it's just because I've had like a couple of ropey feeling Chinese cars lately, but this thing, it just feels so innately well put together, so polished, that it kind of lacks personality, it lacks some sort of spark. It feels kind of anesthetized, a bit anodyne, kind of anonymous, yes, we'll go with that. Even the way it looks, right? And I think that's part of the issue. It's a perfectly pleasant looking car, but does it stand out really? I'd say, no, not really. Now, it does make perfect sense for Toyota/Lexus to have looked at the Yaris Cross and said, let's make a fancy version of it, basically. Let's make it lovely to drive and really high quality and really economical. Yep, that's right, that is a real world 59 miles per gallon there. But I just wish there'd been a bit more Prius with this. Yeah, recently, somehow, Toyota managed to make the most boring car in the world, this thing, look and feel actually exciting. Mind, in doing that, they made it completely impractical and turned it from the best Uber in the world, or certainly the most popular one anyway, into being the shittest Uber in the world. So yeah, I'm kind of a bit lost now on the point that I was trying to make. I like this, it's really good, but it's a bit boring. Everything doesn't have to be exciting, and every car review doesn't have to have a really neat conclusion. Life's messy. Bye! I love you, you're doing great! Subscribe!